Terrifier 2 is getting a ton of positive praise on the internet right now. From living legends Mike Flanagan and Stephen King to the insanely talented Richard Christie, as well as some sort of scarecrow in a wig, Terrifier 2 is the little indie that everyone can't stop talking about. And because of this love fest going on, I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about the biggest issue I have with the film. After all, Damien Leone actually listened to fan criticisms of the first Terrifier and took them into consideration when making part 2. And let me just say, before I get into the meat of this video, that I absolutely love this disgusting and genuinely disturbing franchise. And I have ever since I stumbled upon All Hallows Eve on a torrent site all the way back in 2013. So let it be clear that I'm not casting aspersions on the franchise and Terrifier 2 in particular, as I believe the film is the rare sequel that surpasses its predecessor in virtually every way. So with all that said, let's talk some shit on Terrifier 2. Now, I could talk about the runtime of the film, which seems to be one of the biggest complaints people have about it, or I could talk about the ton of questions that the film poses but never answers, as that's another common complaint I've seen online. But while I do share these same concerns, I won't get into these subjects because I think both the runtime and the questions posed are some of the film's strengths, even if they are problematic. Instead, I want to talk about something that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, which is the characterization of Art's victims. Perhaps the most frustratingly obvious example of bad victim characterization is when Sienna hits Art in the head and then lets go of her weapon and runs away. And while I won't harp on this point too much, as it's one of the most common horror movie tropes, I think it's a good illustration of my biggest problem with the film, which is the response to Art that many of his victims have. I mean, seriously, how many people would react like this, or this, or this, or this, when encountering a maniac in a clown suit ripping apart an animal in their school, or breaking into their home and roaming around their kitchen, or eviscerating their daughter in her bedroom, or shoving mashed potatoes into their mother's gaping face hole?
Should I run?
Not only do these things take the viewer out of the movie, but they take away from the overall impact of the film as well. Let me explain. Before the final showdown with Art and Sienna, Art's victims do very little in terms of fighting back, with this and this being the only two examples in the whole film until the final showdown. Even Sienna's friend Brooke, who at first seems like she might be a fighter, grabs a weapon to defend herself when facing Art the Clown, only to do the cry and shake like the rest of them before being murdered. And I'm trying not to be too harsh, because I think I know what Damien Leone was going for, which is that Art the Clown is this unbeatable, almost unstoppable force that literally rips through anyone that gets in his way. The problem is, when your characters act like this, and do next to nothing in terms of fighting back, it doesn't make Art the Clown seem more powerful, it just makes his victims seem weak and pathetic. In fact, when someone does fight back, Art seems relatively weak. Sometimes he even seems shocked when people are fighting him. Huh? I'm sorry, but if you want your villain to seem like some supernatural, unstoppable force, then his victims should be able to do more than just gasping and head shaking. And they should certainly be harder to kill than a group of people that can't even figure out if they should run when they see this guy. And this isn't just a problem with Terrifier 2, it's a recurring problem in the entire franchise. Characters encounter Art the Clown and do nothing but sob, scream, or stare until he comes after them. Or they get the upper hand against him, only to do things like this. Or this.
Come on, motherfucker! Get up! Get the fuck up! Get up!
And we saw how well that worked out. And I hate to sound so critical, but I just expect more than the same tired slasher tropes from a franchise that I love so much. Weak and pathetic characters making horribly dumb decisions are good for slasher fodder, but they're hard to care about. Characters that are hard to care about make a film less impactful. Think about it. As gratuitous and disturbing and amazing as it is, how much more devastating would the alley kill have been had she fought back even a little bit? Or even her mom, for that matter. I mean, it's not like Art can't take any damage, as he has the ability to regenerate, as well as a little companion that can fix his wounds. So why do his victims almost never fight back? Is it bad writing? I don't really know, but I'll try to give Leone the benefit of the doubt. I mean, maybe he just ran out of time. So that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I had no idea that my first video would get all the attention that it did, and honestly, it's a little overwhelming for me. So if you guys don't like this video, I totally understand. I don't want to disappoint anybody, and I'm not entirely sure of the direction that I want to take the channel in. My goal was never to become a YouTube sensation or anything like that. I just want to talk to other people that love the same movies and shows and things that I do. So seriously, thank you to everyone that's been so supportive. And sorry if you're epileptic.